Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We've been gone for a few days due to Thanksgiving.
Yes.
But even though there's a horrible blizzard hitting Chicago, we are here. Somehow we survived the blizzard and are giving you Daredevil info.
Unless we didn't.
What? On a whole new episode of Daredevil. All right, we're talking about episodes 9 and 10 today of season 3. That's Revelations and Karen, the aptly named Karen episode.
Yes.
Where we finally learn Karen's backstory.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, that's episode 10 is primarily we learn Karen's backstory.
Yes.
And then we have this kind of a 10-minute sequence at the end where fake Daredevil Bullseye comes to the church looking for Karen.
Yes.
Ends up beating the hell out of Matt again.
Yes, again.
And Karen saves Matt.
Yes, he does.
Bullseye leaves, but in the process, Father Lantum dead.
Yes, dead. Right.
Gone. Well, I mean, he could come back. They put him. He returns as a zombie.
Yeah, or just it's another conscience because Matt's head is pretty crowded.
Good point. So. Right. Yeah, good point. Come back later. I have spirit call waiting.
To be or not to be.
So that we'll talk about Karen's backstory in a second, but that's essentially episode 10. Episode 9, Revelations, deals primarily with two things. One is Matt coming to terms with the fact that he's found out that Maggie's his mom.
Yes.
He's not dealing with it well.
Yes.
And then also Ray, Nadeem, the FBI agent, realizing just how powerful Wilson Fisk is.
Yes.
And that his life is crap now. And it ends with Wilson Fisk trying to use Ray to set a trap for Matt. Look, I'm meeting with all the heads of these organizations in this poorly lit basement.
Yes.
So someone could come and they would probably get me in the act. Matt does not fall for it. Instead goes and tries to raid Wilson Fisk's mansion while he's away.
Yes.
Finds out some interesting stuff about him, but while he's in the process, he hears, and by the way, we're going over to the church to take out Karen Page.
Yep.
And that's the end of that episode, which leads to Karen.
Yes.
There we go, episodes 9 and 10. I enjoy these episodes. These are still this is a well-paced season, in my opinion.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I haven't seen a letdown. Even with as we started episode 10 with the Karen backstory, I'm like, uh-oh, is this that episode?
Yeah.
But I was interested.
It did occur to me that they were devoting quite a lot of time to that storyline. It's like more than half the episode.
Certainly.
And also, though that I think they did. I can't imagine that the actress, I forgot her name. Anyway,
Karen.
Yes, I want to say Deborah. That she is unhappy with the the depth of drama for her characters. I think they did a good job initially in the first season with just her sort of getting over her situation, and they did hint at the depths that were explored in this episode. And in the second season, sort of exploring this, okay, now I'm a reporter, and I'm still trying to figure out my relationship with, so they're still finding new things for Karen, and I think it's a good bit of backstory for her.
And they certainly, I didn't read the Born Again comic, but I've heard about it, and in that comic, she's a drug addict and sells Matt out for drug money, basically, and is basically kind of a throwaway character that has no real agency of her own. So they've retconned her, I think, in a good way for the series.
Yeah, I hadn't read those comics. I was just aware of what happened in them. And I would argue that really the character of Karen Page in the comics is not, especially great character at all. The vision of Daredevil that we see in this show and that is most popular didn't occur really until they were pretty much phasing Karen out. Yeah, and so it was really Electra that was the one that was fueling sort of, most popular at its critical at its artistic height. So, just taking those elements and doing them in a way that I think makes the characters powerful. I think it's just, it's a wise choice.
And also they do pay homage to the drug side of her in the comics in this backstory.
Yes.
She was a drug user and dealer once upon a time.
Yes. Yeah, and it was interesting too the way that they, you gave me a little hint of what was to come about how she's living this life. She's actually doing these illegal activities to sort of bolster her family, because they're just some sad sacks there. You had criticized whether or not it was especially logical for her to deny opportunity when both her father and her brother are telling her that, why don't you go ahead, we'll be fine. And everything, though, they do says that they're not going to be fine. So it's like, I'm going to keep spending money I don't have.
All right, well, let's talk about this. By the way, Death Watch, Ray still alive.
Yes.
After another 10 episodes, and Maggie survived the church fight.
Yeah, she did.
She wasn't there.
She has
She
not
wasn't
had
in
her
the church.
conversation yet with Matt. So Matt can't actually say, why didn't you
Right.
tell me?
Yeah.
His girlfriend, I'll just tell you everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I thought it was interesting that Karen, I feel like she didn't know necessarily that Maggie knew that Matt was Daredevil before.
I think she kind of did, because she'd gone to the church. She, being Karen, had gone to the church, talked to Maggie a couple episodes ago,
Yeah.
and had asked her, like, our friend. I think, if I remember right, there was without saying it out loud, there was
Okay.
a, like, I got it.
Yeah,
Daredevil.
okay, yeah, because it was sort of like, okay, he knows all about Matt. You know what I mean.
It's true, yeah. She was very, like, trusting.
Yes.
Here.
And it, it's like a lot is being placed on the fact that
Maggie's very trusting of her, too.
no, right, but I'm gonna on a side note, Ray, that's the FBI guy. Oh.
Yep.
Ray has never met Matt. So all his interactions with Daredevil, it's not like, you remind me of somebody I want to arrest.
That's true. That's true. He's still he's the one guy in the city that's of a belief that Matt and Daredevil are two different people.
No, now not the Kingpin knows though.
Oh,
because
good point.
Yeah, Karen's poker face gave it away.
Right. So that's actually the whole reason. So Karen, we'll just wrap this up a little bit here. Is that Karen is lamenting the fact that her poker face, lack thereof, gave away that Matt is Daredevil.
Yes.
To Fisk, and so she is going on the run because she fears for her life. But before she goes on the run, she wants to go tell
Matt.
Yes. Hey, Fisk knows that you're Daredevil. She goes to the church, doesn't find Matt because Matt's left because he found out about Maggie.
Yes,
Maggie says, he left because he found out about that I'm his mom. Hey, you want to stay in the church? I got people I can call. I'm like, whew. As soon as she said, I got people I can call, I'm like, everybody in town's up on Fisk. Why would I trust that? I could trust you individually, but if you're going to put me in the network of the church, the odds of that staying secret are kind of lame. Anyway, whatever. She does her her thing of, you can stay in the church.
Yes.
Which then leads to the church being attacked.
Yes.
And Maggie is out buying groceries or whatever she was doing at the time.
She's still tracking down her sources.
Conveniently.
Getting her passport or something.
Okay, so take it back then to Karen's backstory. So she lives in this place, I think it's Fagan Corners, Vermont. It's snowy and cold and a little backwoods town kind of thing. Sure. She had originally, I think, it looks like she'd gone to college, then had stopped going to college after her mother died of cancer. Her dad and brother run this diner, and they seem to run it, even though it's not successful, they keep running it as a homage to the mom, because they're like, she loved this place. Well, Karen's kind of the mind that she really didn't at all. So Karen helps with the books on the diner, and they try to keep this thing afloat. Meanwhile, she's also got a drug dealer boyfriend. They go to parties and sell drugs at college parties, basically. and also do the product.
And I think the father alluded to the fact that they had had problems before that Karen was able to solve financially, sort of magically.
Okay.
And of course, it's because she's making money doing that.
I got you.
And that's what the boyfriend kind of is trying to sell her on. Hey, if we did this full time, you could really have them set for completely. Yeah. You could buy a whole bunch of stoves.
Yeah, the stove is an interesting. So like an example of how spendthrifty the dad is. He buys a new stove for the restaurant. Okay, and it's $5,000. We're told the amount.
Yes, we are.
Okay. If that's going to break them, then they're going to get broken anyway. Like, whether Karen does the books or not. I mean, it's a $5,000 stove. They sell the old one. They probably get some portion of that money back.
You think?
Plus, it's going to be more... It's probably going to be more energy efficient. It's going to cook things faster. They're going to be able to turn things... I mean, like, you're talking about, like, a couple of $1,000s loss. Probably in the long term, no loss at all. For that to be like, see, there's an example. You suck at business because you bought a new stove.
What I interpreted to mean, they're already in the hole, and this is just another example of him spending money he doesn't have. So it's like, the way I imagine it is, right now they're probably not doing so well, and so now he's spent this money that they don't have. So it's, I mean, for me...
Part of the reason is because she's bleeding on the eggs when she serves them
to the cops. You think that's spending a lot of their money?
Well, that's why. That's why
they're open up and only have one customer waiting.
I know. No, I get it. There's no customers. They definitely make the place out to be not successful at all.
Right.
Agreed. But what we get is the brother. I think his name's Kevin. Kevin's like secretly reapplied her back to Georgetown or whatever, and she gets in.
Yes.
And the dad, they do a big party for it. Like, hey, come on, congratulations, da-da-da, and you have my blessing, you can leave. And Kevin's like, you get out of here, awesome.
Right.
And she's basically having none of it.
No, yeah.
And her reasoning is because she's trapped here. She can't leave.
Yes, she's trapped.
You guys need me too much.
She's trapped in the same way her mother was trapped. So even though she was mad about, how blind they were to how the mother was sacrificing for the family, she's caring after her mother.
Right. She's
because
like, mom only stayed here for you.
Right, and so that's why she's doing too. So it's tragic in that she's taken up the same pointless fight that her mom had.
I get that it is a believable scenario where someone can feel trapped even though they're not. Right. I just also it's interesting to me. It points out that she's really the only thing keeping her there.
Yeah,
like. She could go to school.
Her concern about him, it's like one thing we don't know is how well the father's been doing since she's been gone.
Right, good point. She did leave, or he told her to leave, and they were talking on the phone. She wants to come back, so he's obviously not dead or in jail.
No, yes.
So, I mean, I think maybe she was overestimating her influence on the family's economic situation.
Yeah. Or it's possible that, once she was gone and everybody else, he was the last, he's the only one now, he has to look for, no one else could save him. So, maybe the business went belly up and he had to, who knows what he's doing. I might be working at, a Target or something. We don't know what he's doing.
I do think we're going to see coming together of the dad.
Probably, yeah.
So we'll see what happens to him. We'll see how he is.
We'll see. Yeah.
But it was just weird. I mean, there was a sense of, I'm trapped here. Well, here, you can go then. No, because I'm trapped. No, but see, honestly, we all agree. You're correct. You are trapped, and so we're going to untrap you. Here's your ticket to get out of here. But I can't. I can't get out of here. I'm trapped.
We'll be fine. We'll be, you won't be fine. No. I'm with her.
I'd be like, okay, they said it.
If I were her, I just would have been thanks and left. But
right.
I
would have recorded them saying it. Say that one more time.
No.
That you're fine without me? Got it. All right. So, a year from now, when you're like, oh my God, the place is falling apart without you, I'm going to be like, hey, you can go and everything's fine. Anyway, she doesn't go.
No.
So instead, she hauls off. Well, first she takes the lottery ticket that her mom always framed.
Yeah.
And then she breaks it and then scratches it. Because I guess the idea is that her mom had this hope. Look, if you scratch a thing, you could change your fortune. I think that was her thing. Like, life could change in a moment.
Oh.
And so she's like, see, life doesn't change. There, idiots. And she races off to her drug dealer boyfriend.
I wonder, or if it's just that was like one of her last ones, and they put it up in a frame. So maybe she wanted to scratch it off, and never did.
Okay, good point. Maybe it was framed post-death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like, is it still applicable? Is what I was thinking.
That would have been funny. Oh, look.
Oh, we did win.
She did win.
It says,
and we never redeemed it. Yeah. Wow, we could have been millionaires. Oh, that would be dark. What do you know? We shouldn't have framed it. Anyway, no, it's just another loser card. But
loser card.
She goes off, does a bunch of drugs. She does so many drugs with the drug dealer boyfriend and is drinking at the same time that he's like, hey, maybe you want to cut back a little. Like, when your drug dealer boyfriend says, maybe you should cut back a little, you're like, oh, all right then. So she's whoop. She's done up. Whoop. They return to drug dealer boyfriend's trailer, which is on fire because Kevin basically blames drug dealer boyfriend for turning Karen against the family, I think. And so he's like, maybe rightly so. I don't know. Anyway, but he sets fire to the trailer in response.
I got the impression that maybe Karen was going to follow up with this stupid boyfriend's plan.
I think there was a potential that she's shooting at targets with him, and then he's like, hey, if you just do some drug dealings.
All the time.
Yeah.
Your family would be set for life unless I beat their ass for burning my house
down. So he starts to whoop brother pretty badly.
Yep.
She pulls out a gun, shoots, wings drug dealer boyfriend.
Yeah, see, because
doesn't kill him, shoots him in the arm.
She knows how to shoot.
And then makes the decision. I guess she's forced to. Kevin is in a bad way. He's got to get out of there. But her driving is a bad idea.
Yeah, no, it is a bad idea.
It's like, okay, so she gets behind the wheel.
Yeah, he didn't look like, I don't think he was wearing a seatbelt.
And they get in an argument about, he's like, look, we already lost Mom. I'm losing you too. And she doesn't see the bridge. And, and then she collapses and he dies.
That was very good stuff.
Really. Oh, yeah, it was upside down. Yeah. So the police don't arrest her. They're like, you know what? Your family's had enough.
Yes.
So that was neighborly of them.
Yes.
You bled into my eggs, so I'll let you off. So she gets free from the law, or she would have easily gone to jail for that.
Yes, easily.
But she doesn't get off in the mind of the dad.
Nope.
The dad's like, you killed your brother.
Yep.
And you said some horrible things to me before that, so I don't want to see you. Leave. Go away. And so she does, and that's where, then we hear episode ago or so when she tries to call him and is like, can I come home? And he's like, this is not a good time. And I always try to make things right. That's what you always do. Anyway, so they're still at odds years later. Yeah. And you can see why they would have. That kind of a huge emotional moment would have certainly could have driven a stake through a family, and did. And so she apparently has never been back to Fagin Corners, which I assume is where the dad still lives.
Presumably.
So there's that. All right. So going back to
perhaps worth mentioning because the episode. Oh yeah, the episode where we see exactly how many tendrils Kingpin has.
Yeah. It's back to episode 9. Yeah.
Like Foggy is completely screwed.
Oh yeah. So we don't even see the end beat to this. But so Foggy is getting a lot of success because
his girlfriend is really happy, like woohoo!
Yeah.
You got a chance because that video is much better than you gave it credit for. Everybody loves Foggy.
You got 100,000 views.
Yeah. See, that's why you're jealous.
I am. Damn it! Damn you, Foggy, for your 100,000 views. Yes, Foggy's dressing down of the DA candidate.
The cops love him.
Cops love him. He's doing great. He's like, hey, I could win. I could become DA.
That's right. No, take it back. Take it back.
So he's getting his little celebration party or whatever, and then brother, it's like, we got to take it back. You got to do it immediately. You got to say you were drunk. Because if you don't, Myself, Mom and Dad all going to jail.
Yep.
And that's where we leave it. We haven't seen yet Foggy's
decision. Yeah.
I'm going to guess he recants, I would think. I think his family's probably that important to him that he wouldn't be like...
I would think. I mean, I think there's a reason why you're not 100%, and that's because he has sort of fashioned himself as somebody who, attempts to do the right thing.
Hey, Foggy, if you still haven't done that bit, you could do it on Dork Lords, and then we could,
the thing that occurred to
be
me,
the vehicle for you.
The thing that occurred to me for seeing Ray is like, geez, man, maybe I would just, sell myself out. Well, I guess his family, but I was like, geez, it's just too much corruption. It's like, oh my God, I've got to do something because this guy, it's like, it seems like they're making such a, it's hard to believe that everyone in that meeting, in that FBI meeting, every single one of them had been gotten to by Fit. It's like,
well, it also goes back then when you see that episodes ago when they had the prison fight,
right?
And Fisk was taunting Matt Murdock on the phone,
right?
First, that's not in a vacuum,
right?
Like Fisk probably owns a whole lot of people, right. So yeah, it's like. Who doesn't he own at this point?
Yeah.
Right. He is supervillain category now for sure. Episode 9 clarifies that Fisk is a major power broker at this point. More powerful, I think, than he was in season 1.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I don't feel like he had that level of control. Well, maybe he did.
But he still doesn't have Vanessa back.
Yes, he does. For whatever
reason.
Yeah, really.
She's out of sight. This was my clue, though, for Ray. Actually, this was where I thought Ray was going to die. Okay, so Ray's decided he's going to spill the beans on this conspiracy to the, internal affairs.
Oh, you thought that's when he was going to get it?
I did.
Oh.
Because here's the moment. So he's like, oh, we can't meet at the building. It's too corrupt. So let's meet at my boss's house.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's a little odd, but okay. As soon as she says... oh, pardon the renovations. I'm like, oh, no. Renovations mean 2 things.
Yes.
1, you got a bunch of money, probably more than your pay allows.
Yeah.
So immediately suggests she's on the take. And 2, renovations mean there's a lot of plastic laying around. So if someone were to get shot, it would make no mess. So I'm like, oh man, he's going to start talking and then they're going to shoot him. And I was like, this is it. This is Ray's death scene. Damn it if they didn't keep Ray alive.
No, yeah.
They just framed him. But there's no reason.
Well, they've prepared his frame in case he ever goes against them.
Right. So I mean, he is properly framed and they're ready. But maybe what got me is it is true though. If some character just out of the blue just says, "Oh, I've been doing renovations on my house," always suspect that character. Like, there's no reason for someone to write that in unless they want you to think that. Now, it could be a double bluff where they're like, "Oh, I just had renovations because I won the lottery last week and it's fine." But a writer doesn't go to the idea of like writing that line if there's not something odd about it. It was just the renovations line was like, oh crap. All right, anyway, there you go. If I was an FBI agent in a movie and someone said, "Pardon the renovations," all right, you're under arrest. How dare you renovate your house?
Curses!
And I'm not standing on the plastic. I'm backing up. All right, anyway. So, yeah, he survived.
Yes, he survived.
So, kudos to Ray.
Yes, congratulations, Ray. You've lived another day.
He's still going to die, but man, he's almost through the season.
That's true.
He could prove me wrong now. We're getting tight. I'm like, but anyway. All right, so another interesting scene I liked was Matt, now that he's no longer at the church, he basically holds up at his dad's old gym.
Yeah, that
which apparently no one ever uses.
No.
They had he breaks the glass using for rent sign, like whole floor. Like, okay. It's perfectly usable. They've still got the posters from his dad's fight on there and everything. So,
nobody wants it.
It's cursed. Just like Matt's dad says they are. It's like, we're cursed.
That's right, they're cursed.
And so that's the interesting part is this conversation he has with his imaginary dad. So it's Matt talking to his own brain, but in the form of his dad.
And Kingpin.
And Kingpin, exactly. So the dad part was interesting. So, he says, like, we're cursed. You put on that mask so that it helps you find a purpose for your violent instincts.
Yeah.
We both like beating people up.
Yeah.
But if you think you're doing it for God or something like that, it helps you rationalize the fact that you just enjoy beating people up.
Yes.
Oh, I don't kill them. I just beat the living hell out of them.
And he was saying, I guess I had to go back and watch that episode. He was saying his father is throwing fights. I thought the whole point of him getting killed, he doesn't throw fights.
Right.
So maybe he threw some fights and then
I think he threw some and maybe then decided not to throw anymore, maybe.
Or because his son came, he was like, I can't throw in front of my son.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, you're right, because they do make that point, especially Kingpin makes a point. Yeah, your dad was a criminal. He threw fights, and then and it was actually an interesting argument that Matt is making to imaginary dad is, you didn't throw the fight, you let your ego get you killed. Basically, your ego took you away from you.
Yeah. He was saying you should have thrown the fight.
Yeah, he's like, you should have thrown the fight, and then we could have been together.
Yeah.
Which interesting logic, but I suppose there's something there.
Yeah, so that's where he gets to the point, like, no, I like beating him up. Okay.
Yeah.
And you like beating people up too. Yeah, don't run away from it. It's a little tiring for me, the whole, it came out too during, comes out too many times, during the talk with Maggie and, I said Stacy, Karen. This devil, this in Hell's Kitchen. You gotta let the devil out. You let the devil.
I noticed he also multiple times.
Let Daredevil out. Let him out.
Multiple times, in that episode, because now he's mad again at the church. That he says he uses the goddamned. He uses that multiple times in this one. It's a goddamn lie. You're a goddamn thing. I was like, it felt a little awkward the first time. That's why I thought of it. I was like, that's a weird adjective to use. And then he'd use it again, and like, oh, okay. They're having him like, I don't like the church anymore, guy. Again.
Even with the priest?
It's a little on the nose. No, it was Matt saying.
Oh, Matt saying.
But that conversation was interesting. I did like it, and then it ends with Fisk taunting him, the imaginary Fisk taunting him until he
beats him up,
snaps his neck.
Yeah, kills him.
He's like,
I'm not gonna mind.
Because again, he make his the concluding paragraph of his essay was, I'm not gonna
throw a fight or whatever. I'm not gonna
I'm gonna just kill the guy.
Kill him.
And he's wrapping his hands in Muay Thai binding, which he explains is like, because I got to get close, because Bullseye kicks my ass from a distance.
Yep.
I think the idea behind the bindings are that he'll use them to block things that are thrown at him.
Well, not just that, right? It's like if you hit with that, it's even more. Not that it's a fist, but you're like really like hitting him with something much bigger.
Yes, you have. You keep also kind of keeps your wrists. It keeps everything in alignment, so you probably punch better. But I think it's also more.
Could be.
I'm guessing it's more of a protection thing, like a block.
Perhaps, but if he wants to get close,
Yeah, he's talking like head clinch close.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I was trying to, at the time, I was wondering a little bit like
what's the point
what the ropes help him out with, and I think part of it would be to deflect, like a little bit of shield, so you're not just blocking with your, skin or something. Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, so that's a cool conversation he has. He beats the living hell out of Fisk. So at this moment, as of episode,
in his mind,
probably even as of episode 10, he's still in his mind, I'm going to kill Fisk.
Yes.
At this moment, it probably didn't, it didn't dissuade him from killing Fisk that Bullseye killed Father Lantham. Because Daredevil arrives at the church trying to save Karen.
Yes.
But theoretically also the priest.
Sure.
And he doesn't.
No.
And in fact, this was interesting. I like this use of the powers. I like the fact that the priest and Karen both realize, he has super hearing. So they're like, first the priest says, forgive me, but he whispers it.
Yes.
But he knows Matt can hear him. And then Karen says, if I can get these people out if you distract him. It's just kind of cool that they were using his his powers. You know, it was kind of a cool little use of the power. I appreciated that. Well done. So yeah, it heightened senses. You know, not heightened enough to survive. So Bullseye,
definitely not.
now in 2 fights, has been shown to be the superior assailant. I mean, they're fairly evenly matched, but in both situations, the end result is Matt's gotten his butt kicked. So they're doing the nice arc of, how can he beat him this time? You know, this guy's better than you. And they're going to have to lead to that moment.
Yeah, I mean, certainly he fought him for a while the first time and then lost. He fought him for longer this time, and then with the assist.
His new strategy
paid
off for a while.
Paid off for a little while, anyway. And you could argue, too, if he wasn't so distracted having to help people.
Damn hero helping people. Yes, right. He had more than just beat this guy.
He's kind of, I mean, you know, I want to see a scene of him looking beat up, Bullseye.
I was going to say.
It's like you knocked him off a balcony, and then he gets away.
Not just that. I mean, Daredevil is beating the living hell out of him. And yes, he's got a costume on, but it doesn't cover his whole face, for instance. His jaws and faces. You would think, you're agreed, he's almost looking like a Terminator right now. He really can't be stopped. Yeah. Which I'd like to see him more vulnerable as well. They're just trying to make, I guess, unstoppable force.
Yeah. Or typically, though, he's good enough, so he's not been, you know, it's a good suit, I guess. Probably better than the previous one.
Yeah. So, that's kind of what I had in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, also, obviously, Bullseye is intimidating the crap out of Ray at this point. Like he's Fisk's proxy for Ray, so he just hangs around him all the time. He's basically threatens his family.
Yes,
shows up, like, oh, this is your family, great. Well, anyway, when I kill them, you know, that kind of thing. Like, oh god. And there's the scene where Fisk makes Ray take his ankle bracelet off.
Yes,
that's a pretty deep cut in my mind. Yeah. Like, hey, by the way, see, this is all a facade. Yeah. Just take it off. You take it off.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Now we'll go. Like, ouch. But they also have to realize, because every time Ray's doing, like, they make Ray call Daredevil, like, and he's like slams the door.
Yes.
Like, they know, they being Fisk, Bullseye, they know that he's not fully on board.
No.
He's on board just because he has to be, but I would think that guy, again, more reason why Ray will die is because he's expressing remorse to the guys who are in control of his life. And I feel like at some point they're going to be like, it's not worth keeping this guy around. Let's just, he'll be a happy accident, blah, blah, blah.
No. I mean, they already got the proof against him. You'd think they just, everybody else is so much more is able to sell out a lot nicer.
Right, right.
I mean, I guess maybe
he's broken the spirits of everyone else. Yeah. The boss is like, we're screwed, I'm out. I don't know. I used to have another kid.
Yeah.
And they killed him.
It's like, that's, I'm not even going to take a chance now to report him or anything.
I divorced my husband just to save him. Like, whoa. Their lives are hell, basically. They're hellish existence. So, things I expect to see in the next 3 episodes.
And that guy at the meeting of all the mini kingpins there.
Oh, sure.
That was the guy, right? That was the not Yugoslavian.
Was it?
Serbian?
I don't think it was. They called him Mr. Star. I don't think that's the guy's name. Right. They did have, though,
from Luke Cage.
Yeah, the Luke Cage.
Annabelle Sciorra.
She was like, yep. What do you need? 20%? Fine. I'm in. After Bullseye kills one of them.
IMDb tells us we're going to see her in one more episode.
Oh, okay. All right. So things I expect to see. I expect to see Ray's going to get killed. Maggie, I don't know. I think the jury's out now that she hasn't gotten back together with Daredevil yet. As I said, I mentioned the idea that maybe episode 13 as they get back together.
Yeah, and maybe they won't kill her then. Although it's still, I mean, even with everything now that's known, it's still hard to see dramatically how she exists after that. I mean, I guess it's possible, but...
But you're right. It's almost too... it's almost like a little happy end on a Disney movie,
right,
where
yeah,
normally
right.
you'd be like, no, that guy doesn't get a happy conclusion to his story.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I can see her living is if he doesn't reconcile with her.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of feel like maybe he starts to reconcile with her and then she dies, or or he does, and then like by the end, oh, we were happy for 20 whole minutes.
Right, we had that moment.
Yeah.
I'll treasure it always.
Yeah.
I have this pendant to remember it by.
And that was actually kind of interesting.
cross.
You know, one thing she makes mention of, but I think they did a good job of demonstrating it, which is she mentions the postpartum depression that she
Oh
experienced
yeah,
after
that
having
was really
the
interesting.
baby, you know, because that was very effective seeing her sort of remember, like, after she was like catatonic basically after having Matt, and you know they did a couple of different scenes where it's like, okay, now we're going to take you away.
Yeah. So that was fascinating actually. So the idea is she hadn't quite taken her vows yet. She's a nun in training.
Yeah.
They go see this boxing match.
Maybe.
Matt's dad has her come to his corner because he can trust that she's not going to spike his water or whatever.
Yeah, they just happened to let's go to this boxing match because it didn't look like they'd met each other before then.
Yeah.
These nuns just going any place.
They have sex. She gets pregnant.
Yes.
And then she gets postpartum depression, and I think part of it is this also guilt, like she's being punished by God or something. I think maybe that she's like, oh, see, I had sex out of wedlock,
one and the other. I would
or like added to the depression.
Yeah.
And so she's not caring for the baby. You see this bit where Matt's dad comes in, is like, "What are you? Snap out of it," or whatever, And it's a situation where that's postpartum depression wasn't diagnosed at that time, and so she's taken back to the church. Kid is taken away from her.
Yes.
And then she kind of spends the rest of her life trying to make amends through the church.
Yes.
For this thing. So that's an interesting backstory. That was complex.
Yes.
So other things we'll see is Bullseye's going to learn that Fisk killed his obsession, right? And so Bullseye's going to try to get back at Fisk.
I think so. I'd be shocked because they really set it up. He's just so happy, and they gave their Kingpin gave his really thinking there about why his best buddy in the world, it matters to him that he died. And kind of setting it up in a way for like how much Kingpin is beginning to trust Bullseye, but he's abusing him by killing off the person who might have helped him.
Major abuse. Do we think Foggy's going to become DA?
I don't.
Yeah, I kind of don't either.
I don't think it helps the story if he does.
Yeah. So anyway, but that
it's like then becomes like Commissioner Gordon or something.
So there you go. Anyway, that's 9 and 10. We're gonna be back with 11 and 12.
Yeah.
I'll be talking a little Lord of the Rings as well, and we're getting close to Counterpart.
Yes, we are.
Season 2 coming out. We're really excited about that. If you haven't seen the first season of Counterpart, go check it out. We recommend it. And then also we did recaps of all the episodes, so check those out. It's a good show. You will appreciate watching it.
Yes.
And otherwise, we'll be back soon. Bye, everybody.